Thank you, Minister, for finally taking some time to meet with us today. Minister, rural Canadians have been very clear that EV mandates make little sense in their small communities where long distances are vast, harsh weather, high vehicle costs, and limited charging infrastructure make adoption far more difficult. Will you acknowledge to this committee that a rigid one-size-fits-all approach does not work for rural Canada, yes or no?
So as you know, the EV regulations we had consultations that closed last month. We're reviewing it right now.
Yes or no, Minister? Do you agree that these mandates don't make sense for rural Canadians, yes or no?
What I was saying is that I just want to be clear. Do I believe that EVs can make sense in rural areas? We've seen in other parts of the world, absolutely. But I just want to be clear that we're in a period where we're reviewing after having completed consultations. So right now, we're still looking at how to make sure that we have the strongest policy going forward on zero-emission vehicles.
Thank you, Minister. Brian Kingston from the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association told this committee that the government's pause of the 2026 EV mandate was a recognition that this regulation isn't working and that the targets are unfeasible, noting that it would require a 200% plus increase in sales in order to meet your 2026 requirement. Based on that evidence, will you commit to permanently removing the EV mandates, yes or no?
So we're in a period of review, and I will be putting out new pieces.
Do you personally support removing the mandates, you as the Environment Minister?
I support making sure that we have a policy that is based on the consultations and review, and it will be the strongest policy. Do I believe in zero-emission vehicles as part of the future around this world? Absolutely.
But will you support removing the mandates? Yes or no?
Well, I, as Minister of Environment, will take into account everything that's come through the consultations and come up with a strong policy that makes sure that Canadians do have access to zero-emission vehicles.
So as the Minister, you don't support or not support? You're not prepared to say that?
As a minister, I'm not going to pre-reveal what the policy will be.
Okay.
When I am completing it. What I'm telling you is, do I support zero-emission vehicles as part of the future, not only just in Canada, but around the world?
I asked specifically about the mandates, though. The mandates specifically. Do you support them, yes or no?
I am in a period of review where I will be releasing shortly the full policy.
Mr., you had talked about other countries, and Mr. Kingston testified that comparing Canada to Norway is a total outlier and not a fair comparison, citing Norway's small urbanized population, short driving distances, massive subsidies, and oil fund finance incentives that Canada would never do. Given this evidence, why does your department continue to cite Norway as a model when the auto sector says that it's fundamentally incomparable to Canadian realities? Quickly, Minister. Thank you.
There are a few pieces to that. The first part is, I think that it is worthwhile to look at the fact that Norway, as of today,
but it's not comparing apples to apples.
So Norway is a northern country that does have rural parts.
But it doesn't have vast distances the same as we do.
So what I'm just saying is there are lessons to be learned from a northern country.
In my riding, some people have to drive 1,000 kilometers to get to a specialty hospital. 1,000 kilometers, right. Minister. So how are the realities the same? I don't understand.
So maybe just so that I can help you on that, what I am saying is the way that the regulations, as they had been set out, were by percentage. You would assume that where you would see the pickup the first, and I think that that's borne true when you look at numbers, is that you start with more people in more urban areas and areas where there's more charging infrastructure.
Yeah, but the mandates are being applied right across the country, though, and they're applying to rural communities as well. Even the percentages, at no point does it make sense for them.
So the actual way that the standards were actually didn't require that it was 20% in every region of the country, for example. It was as a country total. And you would expect that uptake would begin in areas where...
But eventually it's 100%, yes? Yes or no? Eventually, it's 100%. Yes or no?
So first of all, under the review that we're doing, my time is up, but I will just say, ultimately, other countries are moving towards zero-emission vehicles. We are seeing uptake right around the world. And so Canada should be ready not only to produce those vehicles, but also to make sure that Canadians have access to those vehicles.
Thank you, Mrs. Minister.